It gets better. Nicole is accusing me of deleting comments, but deleted one of his comments in response.
Okay, so you still call me he, even though I don't have the quote-unquote male voice, so... Ooh, thanks for proving my entire bit about the transphobia. Thanks for proving me right. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
God, what a Sigma male. Intentionally falls into your trap to prove he's retarded.
Like, that was the whole thing. That was why I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this video in my femoid voice, because, you know, you apparently don't misgender Neko Koda on purpose. You just do it because you hear her male voice. But, it seems like that was complete bullshit. So, yeah, thank you for proving my point. You fell right into my trap. You fucked yourself. Thank you.
You got worked, kid, you fucking mark.
To me, except I never said the only reason I call Neko Koda he was because of the male voice. Just that I started calling Neko Koda he because I heard the voice and immediately knew Koda was a male. Voice alone is not incentive on how I'm going to refer to the individual. Oh my god, I switched voices and he still refers to me as he. God, you're so fucking obsessed with pronouns. One of the problems with Nicole throughout this video and throughout the previous video was referencing the group chat, because every time he would do so, he would misconstrue or leave out context to what was said within it. And the only reason that group chat exists is because he accused me of being a grifter, that I have different views publicly and privately, that I'm being transphobic to attract a transphobic audience. Yes, as retarded as that fucking is, he genuinely believes it. And his reasoning or argument as to my supposed grand grift is because we have a mutual friend who I try to respect. Now, with that said, I also said in the group chat that my baseline for how I refer to people is often biology, and that I've never claimed that I would never use the preferred pronouns. I've never once said that I wouldn't, just that the idea that people have to, or that going on whole fucking crusades and throwing tantrums over pronouns is a bit ridiculous. If I have a friend and they prefer for me to call them something, I will try to do so if I'm friends with them. I won't obsess over it like it's something I must do, but I will try to do it. Because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit enough about pronouns. I don't think it's that deep. Is it funny that people throw fucking tantrums over pronouns? Yeah, that's not the reason why I misgender people. I just don't give a shit. Think of the tantrums as an icing on the cake. I corrected him and said it was actually a reference to Medicare's Hugbox Chronicles.
So,
This is the part where I was like, okay, this is not worth, like, a big-ass production, because, oh my god, your argument is that, well, Nicole, I didn't rip you off, I actually ripped off Medicare.
oh my god, that's such a bad look. Like, you've been fucking parading yourself as this new Darkscythe or whatever. I know he hasn't said that explicitly, but that's what the...
I mean, that's what he's trying to do, clearly.
Yeah, and the fact that, like, you, again, have nothing interesting or new to say, you're rehashing old titles, not from just Nicole, but from fucking Medicare, from drama that's, like, what, 7 years old? I don't know.
6, but who's counting?
Right.
Yeah, you really are a mark, dude. Like,
Oh, you're such a little mark! You're a mark! Ah. Go ahead, make your point.
God, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Self-own yourself more.
Well, the copying, oh, the ripping off. I used a similar fucking title. Your arguments have been on similarities, not direct rip-offs. The closest thing to a direct rip-off was when I quoted Medicare. The videos have references to the past and previous people and situations. Whether those references be more direct, it could be a title, it could be a quote. These references are put in, not only just because I think it's ironic as shit, and I don't know how many times I have to fucking say this, but the point of those 4 videos is to talk about present events and reference the past. The majority of those videos are talking about present events. If I was ripping you all off to such a degree that I was talking about past events like they were currently present, then you'd have an actual argument, but the problem is I haven't. So the argument that I'm completely copying you and ripping you off is so fucking retarded, and it's really desperate. Aren't you just a hypocrite?
But wait, but what comment did I delete?
No, he'll elaborate on it further. I trust He's been
Oh,
a
I'm
good
sure.
voice
I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
he always provides evidence of his claims.
Yeah, where are the receipts, kid?
Okay, so I okay, so on his screen the comment is gone. Okay, well, let's check my screen then, shall we? Oh, wait, no, I think it was the second one. Yeah.
Jamie, pull that shit up. Jamie,
Pull that
pull
shit
that shit up
out.
while I make monkey noises. Ooh, ooh, ooh. fucking, fucking love the Joe Rogan
Yeah,
monkey
my
play.
comment's still here, Akumu. So, I was wrong to make an assumption about you deleting comments. Now, you fucking step up to the plate and admit that you were also wrong about me deleting comments, okay?
From what he shows in the video, he didn't delete the comment. The reason I said he deleted the comment was because when I first responded to it on the 12th, right after I responded to it, it vanished. I even said in a DM message talking about this on the 12th, he deleted it because it just fucking vanished. The comment doesn't show up on my YouTube or my YouTube studio. My two comments with my comment right below the other one shows up, but his comment should be in the middle, but it's just not fucking there. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
How? I pointed out. Wait, I want to see if he plays that clip. He used this background before he knew me. Is this pedantic? Wait a minute. Oh my god.
Hold up.
Wait a minute. Marked 6 months prior in said video, meaning he had to have known about me in 2020. But okay.
Alright, Nicole.
Holy shit, he actually cut out the part where I said maybe it was earlier in the year. But okay, maybe it was earlier in the year. Fair enough. But he hasn't shown any proof that he used this background before he knew me. Is this pedantic?
Oh, that's great. I fucking love spreading misinformation again, I see. Crush your balls, we must.
When I purposely misspread information online?
You
Oh
mark.
my god! He actually did that, like, just unabashedly. Just cut that part out clean. Oh my god. That is shameless. Even for you, Akumu, that is shameless.
While you're pretending that you've got me by the balls, that you've caught me red-handed being disingenuous, and cutting you out of context and leaving out important details, there's a reason why I left that out. Because it makes no fucking sense, and I'm going to explain why. So your point in that video was claiming that I didn't know about you in 2020.
This implies he didn't know about me in 2020. Remember those comments I showed you at the beginning of my spiel? They were indeed from 2020.
Which I countered by playing a clip from my slideshow Cope Part 1, where I directly stated that I learned about you at the end of 2020 and early 2021. You're wondering why Nicole's panties are in a twist. I think I know why, and my idea might be right on the money. When I actually learned of Darkscythe and looked at some of the content and learned about him in late 2020 to 2021, and then your piece of evidence that you provided to show that I knew about you in 2020, I used against you. Because the screenshot was taken in May and said 6 months ago, meaning that it happened at the end of 2020, supporting my own timeline, which I established in Slideshow Cope Part 1. This is exactly why I said you shot yourself in the fucking foot, because you made a claim that I said something that I didn't, that I said that I didn't know about you in 2020, and then your own piece of evidence to prove that I did know about you in 2020 supported my own timeline, which I established in a previous video of me learning about you after I had the Doom Rune background. Now with that said, I have a question for you all. And Nicole, why on fucking earth would I leave in the part where Nicole says, maybe it happened earlier in the year if it didn't happen earlier in the year? Why would I leave in something that makes things far more convoluted, is a maybe at best, and my own timeline disproves it? PC does. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
He used this background before he knew me. Is this pedantic?
Yeah, probably. But the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice. See, say your
Let's see some more shit. Oh my god, okay. Okay, so here's the compilation. Okay.
Ah, yes, the clickbait thumbnail that was specifically made to piss them off, with
Oh,
the
really?
gun to the head
Oh,
still,
really?
in the Doom 2016 background that Darkscythe used in 2017, which doesn't even happen in the video. That still over that background doesn't even appear one time in the video. They
Okay.
appear separately, but they never appeared together. The thumbnail was specifically made to annoy them for irony. Funny enough,
I was just copying Medicare ironically, guys. I was just doing it ironically. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. So let me get this straight. You have this little avatar with the fucking gun, about to shoot yourself. Still very similar to Medicare's avatar. You used this before you supposedly were doing it ironically. And now you're going to copy Medicare more, but ironically to piss people off?
That makes you look like a big old backpedaler, dog. I was only pretending to be ironic. I was only pretending to be stupid. I'm pretending to be the R-word.
Like, oh my god. I'd like to see him... wait, I'm gonna see if he addresses the dunce hat thing.
Nicole made a comment on the video talking about the thumbnail, and I even told him that the thumbnail doesn't even happen in the video once.
First of all, I didn't get a notification for that comment because YouTube's notification system is garbage. 2, I was not referring to the background, dog. I was referring to everything you've done up to that point. This hurts my head.
I've said this before, and I will say it again. The background with the guy pointing the gun up into his mouth is a specific reference to my YouTube profile picture. Both individuals are a white figure over a black background, which is the channel aesthetic, black and white. For someone who repeatedly accuses me throughout this video of missing the fucking point, you sure seem to miss a lot of the points that are made. The thumbnail with the Medicare still over the Doom 2016 rune background was put together specifically for the thumbnail alone. If any similarities between Darkscythe or Mr. Medicare piss you guys off, why not put the two together? It's pretty damn fucking ironic, and I even said at the end of my slideshow cope part 2 that still was made just for that video. If I really wanted to copy Mr. Medicare, I could do something like this, which was specifically made for this video. That it's like, for irony's sake.
No, go ahead, keep going, it's fine.
Okay, so he just completely ignored the dunce hat thing, so I guess, I was right? I guess he did copy the dunce hat thing from me, since he just conveniently left that out of the video. Okay, cool, nice.
But Darkscythe, I thought you said I was ripping off your commentary chronicles. Oh, but that's right. I specifically told you that the Spurg Chronicles title was in reference to Medicare's Hugbox Chronicles, so you changed it for your video.
No, I was referring to the Tism Storm part. I wasn't referring to the Chronicles part. You missed the whole point. It just went whoosh, right over your little pea brain. I was talking about the Tism Storm part. That's what I was talking about.
Like that was...
And again, I didn't rip off you, I actually ripped off Medicare is not the argument you think it is. It's not.
Right, I ripped off you, I didn't rip off you, I ripped off Medicare. It's kicking at a dead horse.
From Mr. Who's the one saying I'm...
Okay, when's he gonna pop in?
Look.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay,
laugh.
okay, hang on. Keep in mind, I have not pre-watched. I've only seen the first 2 minutes before recording this. Okay, so I'm gonna predict exactly what he's gonna say. He's gonna say, oh, at the part where I made fun of Mr. A's LARPing as a Yu-Gi-Oh character, I mentioned that you also made the joke, but my brother in Christ, you still stole my joke. My point is to come up with some original fucking jokes. I don't care if you follow it up with, oh, well, Darkscythe also made this okay? Okay? Make your own jokes. Stop stealing my shit. Okay, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not gonna be his point, but I imagine it is.
Talked about that. In fact, I admitted in the video, Nicole
Here
also
we go.
made fun of him for this.
Yep.
Maybe you missed the fucking point, which was he's saying I'm pretending to be you despite LARPing as a Yu-Gi-Oh character, so surely he must know what pretending's like. Again, don't know how many times I have to fucking say this, but the entire point of my 4 videos so far on this community has been to talk about present events and what they're currently doing.
But your argument is that they're doing the same shit they did in 2016. So, I've already talked about the shit that they were doing back then. You say they're doing the same shit now. So my point is, well, actually, we'll get to that. I'm sure he'll address that, hopefully. There's a couple things he hasn't addressed, though, so who knows.
Making comparisons to the past. Do the hormone pills still have your mind fucking boggled and all over the place? Are you not yet used to them?
Well, I've been on them for a year. I'm pretty used to them. Like, again, you are proving my point about your disdain for trans people. Hormone pills have nothing to do with this. You just shoehorn that in to be a transphobic dick. Which, fine, fair enough, but you're proving my point. Because that had absolutely nothing to do with anything.
Nicole, you're getting mad at that point. That just proves that you're a triggered little cuck.
Also, this, kind of proves that he hasn't really done his homework on HRT. What do you mean?
Why would he?
Well, of course not. Why would he? Well, I think the only reason he would is if he wants to go on it himself. But you silly little egg, you. But all HRT will do, like transfemme HRT, will yeah, like when your hormones are changing, you're gonna be a little like emotional during that, right? Like well, like a teenager, right? Which you still are a teenager because you're 18. So, they call it second puberty for a reason. But this is the first 3 months of hormones. This is when this is happening, when you're a little like unstable. I've been on hormones for a year. I am stable now, relatively speaking. So. Oh god, I don't know. It's like, if you're gonna make a joke about hormones, like, fine, but do your homework first.
This transphobic joke was made because you said in the video that at the time that you made the video in May, you were on pills at the time, and had issues remembering. I even played a clip right after I made the joke of you saying that, and throughout the video you made jokes about popping hormone pills. Even at the end, you made jokes about me popping hormone pills. But if I dare make a joke about it, I've crossed a line. I'm being transphobic. You are fucking ridiculous, and that is your favorite word. Please get off of Twitter. It will be much better for your mental health. Oh, and I'm a little bit confused because he said that I don't know what I'm talking about, that I haven't looked into the effects of HRT and what it can do, and that the joke doesn't make any sense. But then he goes out of his way to admit that it has effects like puberty. A good way to shoot yourself in the foot again?
Shit, again, to reiterate. Fuck you.
Why would he?
Right.
I feel like I have to walk you through this, like I'm walking a senior citizen across the street.
Okay. So he claims he isn't transphobic, and his misgendering of trans people isn't from a place of hate or a conscious effort. But that prompts the question, why call Doodle Tones her dead name?
Back in 2020, before I even knew who Darkscythe was, I was compared to him for calling Doodles Sean, and referring to him with male pronouns. That Darkscythe did the same, and that even he apologized for it, like I'm supposed to give a shit.
What exactly is the utility in this?
Because his name is Sean. It's not like people don't know who I'm referring to when I say Sean. People are very aware of who I'm referring to. And either way I've called him Sean or Susie, I don't give a shit enough if someone rebrands or changes their fucking name. This isn't something that just specifically happens with trans people.
But, Nakumu, okay, let me walk you through this like you're a senior citizen on the street, okay? So, yes, maybe the like idiotic transphobic doodle haters you're attracting might know her dead name, right? But the sideshow commentary people that you're talking about probably don't know her dead name. So again, what is the utility in calling her a name that she no longer goes by? This, you could just say, oh, it's because that's her name. But it's not, though. Her her fucking username is Doodle Tones, and that's what the overwhelming majority of people know her by. So there's absolutely no utility in calling her dead name other than to be a transphobic prick, which is what you were doing. You could try to do like these fucking mental gymnastics, like, oh, well, I just did it cause, that's her name. No, you did it because you're a transphobe, which is fine. It's okay if you're transphobic. Hashtag, it's okay to be a transphobe. But, but, my point was that there's no utility in doing it other than to be a transphobic asshole.
There's no utility. Plus, I feel like if you had just dropped, not you, referring to him, if you had just dropped all that mental gymnastic bullshit and just said, you did it because it would be funny.
Literally, I would respect you so much.
Yeah, I would respect you so much more, because you would actually just, like, you would actually, instead of roping me around like a common mule, you'd get to the meat of the conversation. You'd go, I fucking hate trains.
Yeah, like, literally, if you were just like, you know what, Nicole? I just really hate Doodle, and I want to piss her off and all of her little fans. Okay! Fair!
Yeah.
Awesome! That's all I want from you. That's all I want, because I know that's what you're doing. When you're doing these fucking 4D chess mental gymnastics to justify it, just admit the real reason why you're doing it.
Ah, yes, because calling someone their literal fucking name? Now that's just mental gymnastics. Absolutely ridiculous and preposterous to call someone their literal fucking name. If you call someone their literal fucking name, what you're doing is literally fucking mental gymnastics. The fact that these two retards say this shit with pride, they genuinely believe this dumb shit that they're saying. And if you haven't picked up on it just yet, his little buddy is really fucking autistic. What utility is there in calling her a name she no longer uses?
What is the utility in calling her a name that she no longer goes by?
Because it's his name. I've established that this is not some thing that just happens with trans people. I still call Dwebbly Dwebbly. I still call you Darkscythe. Here's an example. If I were to change my YouTube name to something else, and people were to still call me Akumu, right? Does that mean that I'm justified and correct in saying that they hate my entire existence?
That's all I care about.
I am doing it to make Doodle angry, and I think it's funny.
And you know what's funny? In my original video, I was like, just be like Chad Darkscythe and just say you hate trannies, because guess what? When someone asked me why I dead name and called Doodles a he, I said, it's to piss her off. That's what I said. I was like, it's just to piss her off. I was honest. I was honest. You're not. You're a
fucking liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. Holy shit, dude.
Excuse me.
Holy
Sorry.
fucking shit,
I
dude.
apologize for that.
Literally lying. Still lying to his audience.
You're just like fucking Ben Shapiro talking at 50 words a minute with nothing of interest to say. At your core, you're just avoiding what everybody else in the room knows. You're a fucking idiot.
God.
Since you go by Nicole, I still call you Darkscythe at times, because you're still Darkscythe. Toganinium, I still call...
No, you can't play that game. You can't be like, because guess what? Doodle never went by Sean on her YouTube channel. Ever. Ever. You can't play that game with me. You cannot play that game with me. The only way you would know fucking Doodle's fucking, dead name is if you looked at her fucking Kiwi Farms thread, and... God, go to look at that Kiwi Farms thread and tell me they're not transphobic.
Right, it's like... Darkscythe is an internet alias. It has no inherent gender role.
Right.
Web 1, Sean or Susie put his own fucking name out there on the internet. He signed up on websites where he listed his full fucking name. The only reason Kiwi Farms even has his full name, because he put it out there. And secondly, this, oh well, there's a difference because it's not a gendered name. I don't give a shit. Alias on the internet or a gendered name. I don't give a shit enough to keep up with whatever your coping method is. Your problems are your problems. Just because I'm not helping you take your copium doesn't mean I hate you. I even make fun of him and call him Dwebbles. Another example, the insane
That's
critic.
cute.
I think he goes by Gravely Stupid or some other random shit. Apparently he's changed it a lot. I don't give a shit enough to keep up with it.
It's clearly... Also, if you're, like, first of all, like, you call me Darkscythe sometimes, like, okay, that actually kind of makes sense, because the video that you're, like, the audience you're directing this towards probably knows me more by Darkscythe than Nicole, or Nicoleism, so that kind of has a utility to it, but calling Doodles Sean? There's no practical utility in that. That was my point, and you just flopped. You didn't fucking respond to that at all.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, the horror, the human atrocity, the degradation. I called him Sean. I called him his literal name. Oh, the degradation, the meaniness.
Yeah, trans people don't like it when you dead name them. Like, what's so hard to get about that? Okay.
He's gonna probably continue.
Yeah.
I genuinely have a hard time taking you seriously. Me calling him Sean is not degrading him. Calling him Doodle Diapers would be degrading him. And yes, I will proudly admit that I degrade him for having a diaper fetish.
Like, you can pretend all you want that, oh, I'm just calling her her name, blah, 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 blah. But, like, you and me both know trans people don't like to be dead named. You and I both know this. You do it because you're transphobic, which is fine. That is okay. I'd rather you not be, but you are what you are. My issue is that you're doing these mental gymnastics to prove that you're not actually a transphobe when you clearly are.
Oh my god! You don't like something? Well, what should we do? Should we erase it for you? Should we remove its entire existence for you? Because you don't like something? God, this is so fucking ridiculous. I'm having a hard time believing that that's the point that you made. I feel like I'm in some kind of Twilight Zone. That your entire argument is, well, we don't like it when this happens. And I'm supposed to give a shit? Other people can give a shit if they want to, but you're not entitled to me giving a shit. If I was upset with the fact that you make jokes about me taking HRT pills, although they're pretty fucking hilarious, let's just say for the sake of argument that I have a problem with it. And if you don't stop doing it, does that mean that you hate me or my entire existence? And if you answered no, then why the fuck do you think I should stop doing something because you don't like it? Because it hurts your fifis? And why are you acting like I hate you or your entire existence because I do something that you don't like?
Okay.
Right.
To express
You
your
wouldn't be
disdain for
That isn't even true.
Also, this crow is built like Abby. Look at them arms.
What
Alright,
human
here we go.
rights did I violate with that comparison? Where's this?
Wow, I never said anything about human rights.
Hatred of an entire group of people because I pointed out a similarity with a character that isn't even trans.
Oh my god, are you really gonna be this obtuse? Are you really gonna be this obtuse? I know the character isn't trans, but when people thought the character was trans and they were like, oh yeah, she's actually really muscular, she's trans, blah 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 blah. There was a whole fucking shit show about it around the time the game came out. Like, don't pretend you don't know what you're doing. Oh yeah, I just compared her to a character that isn't even trans. Like, dude, you know the context. You knew what you were doing. Stop playing stupid. You're, like, literally insulting your viewers' intelligence by playing stupid. Just come out and say, I don't like trans people. Just say it. It's not hard.
And it's not like that isn't, like, common knowledge or game. People were dropping all sorts of transphobic, like, memes and whatever. Fucking
Yeah,
there was one
were...
where,
oh, sorry.
like, there was one which had, it was a still frame of Joel pointing a gun at the doctor, you know, at the end of Last of Us 1, where they're going to do the surgery or whatever, and he was like, oh, just you wait, and then he goes on a tangent about how Abby is trans, and some shit about how, my trans daughter is going to kill your adoptive daughter. It's going to be funny and based. You know that whole
there
meme.
was tons of transphobia revolving around that character, so... Come on, don't insult our intelligence. We know what you're doing. Jesus Christ.
Just vanished Princess Kai fucking striked it. Now this one's a bit of a desperate reach from Darkscythe. The point of this segment is to show me being transphobic, and so far it's been really shit. Especially this, me calling Kai Weiss Princess because he called himself Prince Kai. Now it could simply be that Darkscythe doesn't understand everything that happened with Kai. That's fine. However, it's a bit of a reach to say that it's transphobic for me to refer to someone who called himself a prince as princess because he's such a fucking pussy, because he's a giant fucking coward. And the reason why Nicole put this in here, because way after my video ended 2022, quite a few months after, Kai came out as being non-binary or something. He didn't even identify as that when I called him a princess. And again, I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, to bring up the Kai Weiss thing, I was under the impression that Kai was a trans man. That's what how you're making it sound in our DM exchanges. But if I was wrong about that, then I guess
Who is Kai Weiss?
That's not what happened during your bitching over pronouns. You wanted an example of me misgendering a cis individual, so I gave you an example, Kai Weiss, because I called him a princess and on occasion referred to him as a female. You're so uppity and pissy, your panties are in a twist because of this apparent misgendering because I refer to a male as a male, because that's misgendering. So I gave you an example of me referring to a male as a female, actual misgendering.
Why do we care?
It was someone Akumu made a video about, and I didn't know much about it, and I was having a DM exchange with him in a group chat, and he was like, yeah, I purposefully misgendered Kai Weiss, because I was like talking about how he purposely misgenders trans people, so Akumu was making it sound like Kai was a trans man and he purposefully misgendered them. That's how Akumu was making it sound to me. Maybe I misunderstood that. But I don't know. The point is, dude, like a sizable amount of your content is shitting on trans people and purposefully misgendering them. So, and purposefully deadnaming them. So, yeah, I think my point still pretty much stands, even if I was wrong about Kai being a trans man. Okay, so, at the end of the day, I don't know much about Kai Weiss, admittedly. I just remember me and Akumu had a conversation about him purposely misgendering trans people, and Akumu told me himself, straight from the horse's mouth, that the only time, quote-unquote, bullshit, but the only time he's purposefully misgendered someone, he didn't say a trans person, but he said someone, was Kai Weiss. So I just inductively reasoned, like, oh, okay, Kai Weiss is a trans man, and he misgendered him, because it's something you do a lot in your videos, and again, from our conversation, I just inductively reasoned that. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know much about the Kai situation. I'm just going by what you told me. So, there you go. History of purposefully misgendering people in your videos. So, sorry, I really don't buy the narrative you're attempting to push. Again, you're transphobic. You're bioessentialist. Like, whatever. I don't really care at the end of the day, since you're probably going to end up putting on the programmer socks, take your poppers and your estrogen, and break out of your egg in a few years anyway. Just own up to the fact that you hate trans people.
If you want to tell yourself that I hate an entire group of people because I don't agree with their beliefs, if that's your coping method, then go right fucking ahead. I'm not going to change your opinion. I'm not going to make you realize that someone disagreeing with your fucking belief doesn't mean that they hate you. Suck it up, Buttercup. Not everyone is going to tell you what you want to hear, and not everyone is going to hold your hand in life.
Wow! You again, point right over your head. I'm not expecting you to gender me properly or anybody properly, Akumu. I'm not asking you to gender anyone properly. I'm saying if you're constantly making videos shitting on trans people, and that seems to be a focal point of your YouTube channel, I don't know. Maybe I can inductively reason you don't like trans people too much, and you should just come out and say it instead of doing these mental gymnastics. I feel like I've said this, like, what, 4 times?
Times now.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ. Again, point right over your head.
I target trans people. Alright, let's take a look at my content. The earliest trans individual that I covered was Fuchsia Butters, or Lucy. He started the shit with me, and he lied about me. Second, Slumber, who started the shit with me and lied about me. Then we have Doodle Tones and Slumber, which are talked about in my responses to the FCK and Mad Libs, because both of them participated in that and lied. And then down the line, we have Deviant Crow, who didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And the more recent trans individual who I talked about on my channel that isn't Unicall is Neko Koda. We debated for 3 hours, and then I made a follow-up video later about him bitching about pronouns and coping about our debate. And it's not that hard to take a look at my channel and my videos and see that I have more videos that aren't on trans people than there are on trans people. It's a really pathetic and really ridiculous reach. Hello, Red and Darkscythe Jr. that you forgot to wrap it up, right?
This guy's been writing my sheeness for some time now. This all started because I put my girl cock inside of a femoid in high school and forgot to use the wrapper, unfortunately.
Makes you Han Solo, and we all know what happened to Han.
Well, I guess I'm a little out of my league here. Einhorn, good work.
Oh, there is just one more thing, Lieutenant.
You left out the part where I said discovering my illegitimate son was surprisingly not the result of an episode of Maury Povich, but instead he came to me looking for alimony, and I said, fuck off, I'm not your dad, I'm your mom, making me Leia.
No, you said you impregnated a woman, and you've said that several times by now, that I'm Darkscythe Jr., that you forgot to wrap it up. That would make you Han Solo. A Han Solo that transitioned, but Han Solo nonetheless. Don't try and weasel your way out of a comparison you made that backfired. Now the comments on both his first and second video are truly something else. I'm gonna share some with you. From the first video, Nye Tie-Dye had this to say. 1. Guy's an edgelord due to the I'm a pseudo-intellectual but also a tough customer voice he puts on in the horned demon avatar against a black background. He can cry about it if the label upsets him. 2. His audio in his videos gets quieter and quieter with each video. If you want people to think your content is better than the CCs, learn to amplify your shit so people don't have to strain their ears to understand your mumblespeak. It's a little bit ironic for someone to say that others are straining their ears to understand my mumblespeak, but you can barely understand a single fucking word that comes out of his mouth. Now, this does have a decent point, but of course that defect lingering upstairs has to sneak its way in and make this retarded. My audio is inconsistent, but I have been amping it up to try and curb that. As well, I never said I want people to think my content is better than the commentary communities, nor have I claimed that my content is better than the commentary communities. There are plenty of people in commentary who put more effort into their videos. At the end of the day, while sure my audio may be a little bit down low, and it may be hard to hear my words, at the very least they can understand what words are coming out of my mouth. They can understand what the fuck I'm saying. And I would much rather take low volume audio than whatever the fuck this is.
Though, considering McGregor said he has no clue how to play soccer.
Just tube stuff. Akumu really has no insults other than he. You forgot autism. You also forgot retarded and pathetic. He isn't really an insult. Calling an apple is an insult. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Now on his second video, when you're an edgy teen inspired by Mr. Medicare, you either grow up to become a Nicole, or you deteriorate into becoming a chamber of reavers. But wait, this guy left a neat little comment on my video. Dude, give it 4 to 6 years, you're going to look back on these videos and cringe hard. There's been a multitude of people that have been saying that since 2019. As much as you're desperately putting on this charade and acting like I have something to be ashamed or embarrassed of, I enjoy my hobby of making fun of retards on the internet. Oh, Nye Tie-Dye again. Akumu, I'm not Diet Darkscythe, guys. I'm totally not. Also, Akumu does the classic Darkscythe voice. He is really clinging onto this idea that I'm altering my voice. My voice is not as deep as Darkscythe's. There's only been a handful of times I've tried to alter my voice on this channel, and it's only been done for skits, typically trying to mock someone. Oh god, puberty and other issues have given me a barely deep voice. Oh, what will I do? He could be saying this because he made a video on me 2 years ago, but again, there's a neat little biological function called puberty and increased testosterone that deepens voices. This is either a delusional reach for a silly attempt to own me, a wicked burn. Or maybe jealousy? I don't know. Considering people can actually comprehend the noises that leave my mouth as actual fucking words. The conundrum. I miss talking with you, Nicole. But with work and still getting over my father's passing, it's been a slow road to being myself again. But glad to see you're doing well and putting this pretender to the throne in his place. What kind of autistic Game of Thrones shit is this? What throne am I pretending to be on for making references to previous events and people? And someone certainly switched up, because he had this to say on my video about Mushroom Girl. The comment was marked potentially inappropriate by the YouTube bot, but maybe the bot was wrong. You tell me if the bot was wrong. I have been watching your channel more and more and enjoying what you are doing to these dishonest SEC members that us Alt-CC members couldn't because of their blatant smear campaign. I was a former Alt-CC member, and knowing that you are standing up to these SEC hacks shows that the Alt-CC message did reach some people. Mushroom Girl. The only reason why someone called themselves Mushroom Girl is either two reasons. One, they are a person who loves being on the effect of mushrooms and enjoy that type of high. Or two, they are a huge hoe that love taking so much cock because mushroom is slang for cock. I take option 2 because this person sounds like your typical valley girl who slept with the owner of the pizza place in your food court in the mall in order to get free pizza and soda along with a bad case of chlamydia as an added bonus. 1. Mushroom Girl is 14. 2. The last part about the valley girl and pizza place owner is weirdly specific. Maybe direct experience? Are you speaking from your own personal experience? Perhaps were you that owner? So which is it? Did the message reach me, or am I pretending to be on some non-existent internet throne? And lastly, Nicole's previous pinned comment, because it's a banger. It gives us a good look on just how fucking delusional and scrambled his brain really is. Just to get this out there, Tara and I don't see the need in making a third video should he respond. We've pretty much said everything there is to say. We pointed out him taking me out of context. I didn't take you out of context. I removed a clip of you saying maybe it happened earlier in the year because it didn't happen earlier in the year. I was trimming off meaningless, pedantic fluff from your bore of a video. Lying about things I've said. I didn't lie about anything you said, but you lied about things I've said and stripped the context of what was said in the group chat to add to your pronoun tantrum. Whether it be, oh my god, I used my voice training and he still called me a he, or you made it out to seem like Kai was a trans man, and that's just to name a few examples. Making the same mistake I did with the comment thing. My claim was based on YouTube's error no longer showing your comment for me. Yours is because you blocked me on YouTube. We are not the same. I remember you trying to call me a pussy, that I was worried about my audience seeing me get beat by a tranny.
Oh, and apparently he was a pussy and deleted comments because, oh no, I got trolled by the leftoid tranner. I can't let my neckbeard incel audience who calls me daddy see. Oh no.
So why exactly did you block me? Was this projection on your part? And we pointed out his fallacious Kylo Ren point. Oh yes, the oh-so-fallacious Kylo Ren point of him being Han Solo, because of his own joke stating that he impregnated a woman, which would make him Han Solo. But yes, that's totally a mistaken belief. You're not weaseling your way out of it. If I'm Darkscythe Jr. and you impregnated a woman, your own words, that makes you Han Solo. And you accused me of doing mental gymnastics.
Instead of doing these mental gymnastics,
You got hit with an Uno reverse, but it's okay. You can rest now. We pointed out that there's no reason for him to dead-name Doodletones other than to degrade her for being trans. I'm just gonna replay my previous clip from my previous video because it applies here anyways. The degradation! I called him Sean! I called him his literal name! Oh, the degradation! The meaniness! Anything can be degrading to the Twitter dwellers. We've established he's unoriginal, etc., etc. Doing a response to a response to a response would be what Akumu would view as shit the SEC does more than likely anyway. We're going to focus on other, more important projects. If he wants the last word, then he can have it. We're moving on now. Thanks for watching. This entire back and forth has been over a desperate attempt to call me unoriginal, and that I'm copying the previous content creators, all because I dare use a background Darkscythe used in 2017. That's right, folks. If someone else used a background on YouTube, you can't use it, or you're copying them. Or because I directly quoted once and referenced Mediker's video on doodle tones into videos on the SCC. Because of that, I'm copying Mediker and Darkscythe. In actuality, they just can't stand references to people in the past who made their community short-circuit and act like rabid retards. Because both individuals made fun of the retarded shit they did, whether it be doodle tones or the SCC as a whole. So what are they doing? They're grasping at the tiniest details, like references to the past, me calling them autists and spurgs, or over some fucking pronouns, to avoid actually addressing what was said. I'm copying Darkscythe's aesthetic and edginess. Oh, totally. Because I'm definitely using the Grim Reaper, Darksiders Reaper, Overwatch Reaper, and so on. My still is definitely the same. It's far easier to frame someone as just rehashing old drama and old talking points, that they're copying others, than it is to actually respond and acknowledge what's said. After all, flat-out denial hasn't been working out so well for them, so it's time to switch up the tactic. My videos go over current events as priority, whether it be the SEC and the shit that they tried to pull on Alex with their denial and misrepresentation, George's misrepresentation and denial of my points while crusading over some oh-so-precious pronouns, with some references to the past sprinkled in, brought up to show it's a pattern, but that's just me copying. Although a new tactic rather than the usual deny and misrepresent, it's still their coping method at the end of the day. No one is copying anyone, you just don't like being reminded of the past, and don't like it when a sarcastic meanie on the internet makes fun of you.
I'm Sophie Lightning, and these are some tips and tricks from a pro nerfer that could help you win your next nerf battle. Let's go. Tip number 1.
But seriously, what the fuck is this shit?
Paula painted a winter background when the musical takes place in summer, and
with Night-Eye's occasional sentence, you can understand maybe a word or two. It sounds like his tongue is too big for his fucking mouth, and it's just flopping around in there like a fish out of water. Before you accuse me of altering my voice, maybe you should learn how to fucking talk.